Hello, hello, people. Happy Wednesday. I'm so glad to see we've got some people on. I see Sherry and Mona. I don't know if Melanie left, if she's still here. But welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for joining me again on Wednesday. And Mom is around here somewhere, but she had to step away from the table for a second. But I do have with me, I'm so excited that Tabitha Smith is joining us. Y'all, we have so much to talk about. So
Thank
I will let
you.
Tabitha introduce herself and then we will kind of chat from there. I'm going to be cutting fabric if I feel like it tonight for my quilt, my purple quilt, but more than likely we'll just be chatting. So
Ooh.
feel free to give shoot out some questions, let us know what you got going on. All right, so with that, thank you, Tabitha.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. My name is Tabitha Smith. I own Camellia Palms Retreat Center in Florella, Alabama. I also have a quilted summit that my daughter and I do. We did one in February. We got another one coming up September 16th and 17th. I have an online community called Quilt Queens, and I'm doing a scrap quilt challenge next month. So there's a little bit going on around here. And I just got back from the Kansas City Quilt Show. It was a blast. And by
So
the way, I
how
live in
big is that
Florida.
quilt show?
What?
Is that a big show?
Oh,
Kansas City is a big show?
it was huge. It was huge. It was in the oh, I can't remember. It was a convention center. Overland Park Convention Center on the south side of
Okay.
Kansas City, Missouri. It was enormous. I think they said they had over 700 quilts. It was
Oh
big.
wow.
Lots of
Nice. Did
vendors.
you did you have a table or you were just there as an attendee or you had a quilt there?
No, I was just an
Oh,
attendee. I
okay.
didn't have a quilt. I didn't have a table. I was just having fun. It's nice. It's nice sometimes just to get to walk around. I mean, I did run into other vendors that I know, like Martelli, my friends from Martelli, because they're
Yeah.
local here where I live. And um,
Oh, I guess I knew they were from Florida, but I didn't realize they were up in the Panhandle.
yeah, they're in Pensacola.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I ran into
Good to
some
know.
some vendors that I
I
knew,
have
and it was really cool. It's a beautiful show, lots of talent, amazing quilts.
I have a new rotary cutter that I haven't even opened yet.
Yeah, Martelli's ergonomic one.
Yeah. Okay,
So
so let's start. I want to start with the retreat center because when you and I met, we started talking about doing a retreat together, and then we both got so busy, and then you're now doing the summit, which is huge. So you probably don't have time to do a little old retreat with me.
well, we host somewhere between 75 and 90 retreats a year. Uh,
Wow.
we have this big, beautiful 6-bedroom, 5-bathroom Queen Anne that was built in the 1800s. It's on an acre, it faces the lake. It's absolutely gorgeous. Um, and so we can hold up to 14 people. So it's not a big retreat center, but it'll hold a nice small group. It's really ideal for smaller groups of friends, from their guild as opposed to,
Yes.
like 30 people. Um,
Right.
and we provide all the accommodations and the linens and the table setup and all of that for the groups that come in.
And
Taylor and I did it. We've been doing it since 2019.
I think whenever you and I met, I was kind of on a what was it called? Mind body quilt, where I wanted
Yes.
to do like take care of yourself, and we talked about doing like yoga, having like a massage person come in, a
Mhm.
nutritionist maybe, that kind of a
We
retreat.
just got.
It's
We
still
both
on my
got too
list.
busy.
What's that?
We both got too busy.
Yeah. I've got lots of great ideas.
And honestly, our retreat center stays pretty full. We don't have that many off weeks. The holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving are generally off weeks, but for the most part, we stay pretty booked up. A lot of repeat customers.
So, and my mom can talk about this too, but when I was growing up, my dad owned a hunting club, a hunting lodge, and it was half the year. And he had to be so entertaining, be on all the time for during the season. How do you take care of yourself with?
Well, the truth is I am not usually at the retreat center.
Okay.
Usually the private groups, they check that, they have a code, they let themselves in, they do their thing. For some groups, I'll go do a pop-up shop because I have fabric at my house, like because I bought out a quilt shop, and I will take it up there like on Tuesday. So on Monday, after I drove 16 hours and slept all day, then on Tuesday I had to do a pop-up shop for them. So I'll just take bolts of fabric and do an hour-long shop, and then I will go home. But for the most part, I am not at the retreat center. I attend a few retreats a year.
Okay.
It'll be like special, like I'm teaching one in October, so I'll be there because I'm teaching a class. But for the most part, I don't have to be up there all the time.
Well, that's good. Okay, so it's kind of like an Airbnb or a VRBO where people just kind of come in and do their thing.
Yeah, except that it's specifically set up for quilters. We got the design walls and the odd lights and the irons and ironing boards. Everything is already set up for them. They just tell me how many people is coming. I set up the appropriate amount of tables, and then they're good to go.
Nice.
That is
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so that clears in my mind because I'm thinking you're like doing a lot more work with the retreats, but I mean you're there to help if needed and if things go wrong, but other than that,
Yeah,
you're not
if
like
they call
running
me
the
when like a
retreats.
light bulb is out or something's not working, I'm only 20 minutes away. I can run up there, send the husband up there, which is usually what happens. I'm like, go change the light bulb. So because I don't do ladders, and the ceilings are like 14 feet high, and so yeah, usually I'm not up there that often. I am up there for some retreats, probably 4 or 5 a year is all, and
Okay.
then I'll go up there, to make sure that all the setup is ready, right? So I may only be up there twice a week, but there's nobody there.
When you're there, right.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Well, yay. What a great fun thing to have
Yeah, I mean,
and
when
not
we
have to
first
work too
started,
hard.
it was up there a lot more, but we've kind of streamlined the process and really found our niche, and so now I don't have to be up there as often, which gives me more
Do you
time.
get repeat?
I'm
What
sorry I missed where it's located.
we're located in Florella, Alabama, which is on the Alabama-Florida state
Oh,
line.
okay. Right. Good.
Do you have a lot of repeat groups,
We
people that
do.
come back?
Like the group that's there this week, this is their third summer to come, and so I went up there to do a pop-up shop, and they printed out pictures of the first 2 years, and they had we took their picture for this year, so they have them all. Every time they come, they stick a new one on the design wall for the group.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
really
so
fun
I
with
want to talk about the retreats. The other thing, and this we can go in any particular order, but I'm going to let you talk about the summit, the scrap challenge, and then so let's talk about those two. What you got
Okay.
going on, which in whichever order you want to talk about, and then we'll talk about Quilt Queens a little
Okay.
bit later.
So
Ah.
coming up in July, I believe it's the 7th through the 11th. If my dates in my head are correct, it's that week of July that ends in the 11th. I can remember that. I've got the scrap quilt. It's been a long week, y'all. I drove 16 hours. I'm lucky my brain's still working.
Oh Lord.
Well, and I have to say, you do have some of the people here are registered for that. And so I did talk about it a little bit when I signed up, and I think people went and signed up. So,
Awesome. So
um,
yeah, it's just a
yeah.
fun little challenge. It's free. I love scrap quilts. I mean, I absolutely love doing scrap quilts. If I can pull something out of the pile and use it, I'm all about it. And so I thought I would just do a fun thing. And every day, like we'll do the first day we're talking about pulling your colors. And, if you're not particularly brave with color, then pull up your favorite color and a white or black neutral background and go with it. Don't stress out over it. If you're like me and you really like color, put cheddar and purple together, like whatever it makes you happy that day. It's okay. There's no wrong way to do it. And then we're going to talk about a test block the next day, like something easy, a wonky log cabin. I want this to be fun and, not stressful. Just fun ways that you can use some of your scraps, particularly if you are not a scrap person. Like I have some friends and they basically only do kits because they are not a scrap. They have a hard time putting colors together. Right.
Yeah.
And so they
Well,
stick.
and I always admire quilts that are made from a kit because they're so beautiful. I just can't buy the kits. Like I find it very difficult to purchase a large amount of fabric
I'm the same
when I
way.
have so much here. Yeah.
I rarely buy a kit except for the one behind me because it was strawberries and I fell in love with it and she had the kit and I needed something to
Very
take
cute.
to a treat. So I'm like, yeah, I'll buy that. But it's rare for me to buy a kit. I'm much more likely to just grab something and throw it together. I like to
Right,
buy
that's what I do.
patterns and I can pull fabric for them. But I know that's a struggle for a lot. I hear that in my, in my emails and, on my Facebook and stuff that they struggle with putting scraps together. And so I just thought we'd do a fun scrappy challenge just for the summer. We're not selling anything. There's no pressure. It's just for fun.
I love that.
And then also the Quilted Summit is coming up. It is September 16th and 17th. Amber will be one of my speakers for the second time in a row.
Yeah.
So we're excited. We have some of our speakers from February returning. We have some new speakers coming in. Right now I've got about somewhere between 25 and 28 speakers signed up to speak and do a presentation. I'm expecting to get some good prizes. I know Yazzie Bags said they were in again. So that'll be good. I haven't really started working on the prizes yet, but it works itself out. But yeah,
I should probably know this, but is there a theme for the summit?
We're rolling with the same theme as we did for the last one. Use what you have, spark new ideas. Like I know Maria's idea is really cool. I'm not going to give it away, but Maria has a good presentation subject lined up. Julius from Julius Handmade is coming back, and he's got a good subject, but I'm not giving them away yet. It's too early. It's not till September.
No, it is early. It is early. And I don't know if I told people when they helped me, if that's what I was doing with the road sign or not. I can't remember. I'm gonna whisper it to Jen like everybody else can't hear. Did I tell people when we helped get the road sign? No? Okay. Never mind.
I don't think so, but I'm very forgetful, so.
But so going back to the scrap challenge, like I'm going to show you, Tabitha, while I have you on. It's so heavy, so incredibly heavy. This is my bag of scrap.
Ooh.
It's like probably 3 feet high. And so that is my challenge to you. And look, I have made things with that bag before, and you can't even tell that when I use stuff out of it. Like,
that is my theory.
And I don't know how
they multiply when you're not looking. Because I once had too many green scraps. I made an entirely green quilt, and I swear the bucket didn't go down any. I've got an entire bucket of purple scraps. I mean, and we're talking one of those tubs that have the flip and lock lids full of purple here that I'm working on trying to make some purple blocks.
Now all you need is green, gold, and purple, and you can do Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras quilt.
I mean, I do live down here, but I haven't always lived down here, so I just stay home and away from all the traffic when Mardi Gras is happening.
Yeah, most people do.
And king cakes. I only had one, and I was like, "What is with this dry donut?"
That is it.
Okay, so Zaza, this is so funny. It hurts your brain to do random scrappy. It hurts my brain to do anything else. Like if I have to think about putting colors, like what colors go with the other colors. If I have to pull out the color wheel, which I'm learning to do, like sometimes I don't even look. I just pull things out and just put them together, do like crumb quilts and things like that. Just like throw stuff together.
But you could do controlled scrappy too. Like let me show you. Like I'm working on this. It's a wonky. I have a lot of purple scraps, right? Like I never get rid of purple's my favorite color. So these are wonky log cabins. The whole quilt is going to look like this. It's going to be nothing but purple. So you can do.
I love it.
Happy. For me, it hurts my brain if I have to do something that's too orderly.
Yeah,
it's hard. It was really hard to follow the pattern for the strawberry quilt just as it was done. I really wanted to just ditch those Irish chain things, but I was like, no,
they're so cute. Yeah,
don't do it.
so the flower in the middle, the red, that is so cute. Is that like the flower when the strawberry is blooming? Is that what it looks like, or is that just a random flower?
I think it's just a random flower because strawberry flowers are white.
Oh, okay.
And the truth is if I hadn't bought this as a kit, which I rarely do, I would have, if I'd used my own fabric, the strawberries would be red, the flowers would be pink.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made them the opposite color, but
it was a kit.
It was a kit. Now I did swap out the border. I'll show you. The border was supposed to be that mint color that's in the flowers and everything, but I didn't like it, so I got a pink to put on as a border. So I did.
And now you can use the mint for something else.
Yeah, I mean it was a pretty color. It was a pretty fabric. I just didn't like it as a border. So
yeah.
So as far as the summit goes, if you guys go to quiltedsummit.com, you can put your email in and then you'll get all our notifications of when it's coming up and who the speakers are, and you get to see all their bios and all that good stuff. And you can find us on Instagram and Facebook too. So yeah, it's really
so the Quilted Summit has its own Instagram, correct?
It does.
Okay, and then Tabitha Smith Quilting is yours.
Yes, I have an Instagram. I have so many Facebooks and Instagrams, honey. I have Tabitha Smith Quilting on Facebook and Instagram, Quilted Summit on Facebook and Instagram, Camellia Palms Retreat on Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, it's a lot. We manage a lot. I have help though. My 2 daughters help me a lot.
Taylor's pretty amazing.
She is, and Katie does our graphics. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. She's amazing too.
Yeah, we've all agreed that Katie does the best graphics, and we just should never touch graphics again. Just hand them off to Katie.
See, and I was thinking Taylor did all of that. I was giving Taylor the credit for both of them.
No, she does all the posts, and she comes up with the real ideas and all that, the social media marketing. But Katie is the graphic person.
Which they're both very good at what they do. Like I was really impressed last year how smooth everything went with the summer. Or I say last year in February. It was just so smooth.
Yeah, and we were all glued to the computer for about 12 hours the whole time, both days, right? Yeah. But yeah, we all have our strengths and we all stay in our own wheelhouse so nobody gets their toes stepped on. Because you get 3 strong personalities, you got to find your spot and stay in it, stay in your lane. But yeah, so it's
great advice for life in general.
Just stay in your own lane. But yeah, we're looking forward to that. The scrap challenges in July, the summit's in September. I think the summit's just going to keep growing and growing. Last time we had 12,000 people registered. We're expecting 15 this year, this summer or fall, whatever it is.
That's like incredible.
It really is. I mean, and it's funny because we got feedback from Hay Summit, and they said that the quilters were one of the most engaged audiences they had ever seen. They were in there chatting away and all that. They said a lot of times summits, nobody gets engaged. But our people, the quilters, our community is engaged.
They were. I know. I was able to sit in on a few of the live sessions, and they were very active and engaged. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of work too, I'm not gonna lie, but it's worth it because it's like I had a lady at a retreat last month or at the beginning of this month that I met who watched us on the summit and then booked at the retreat center, and I got to meet her in person. And how cool is that?
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so before we got on, we're still going to talk a little bit about Quilt Queens later, but before we got on, you were talking about some new fabric that you found. Would you mind sharing that?
Oh, y'all, I had
Can
to
you
show
share that?
Steve. I only bought one bundle at the Kansas City Quilt Show because I wanted to buy one of every color. So this is glitter fabric. The glitter does not come off at all.
Wow.
And they come, you can sew with it, you can embroider with it. And I mean, I got these gorgeous glittery fall colors from a company called Beach Potato, and they're based in Florida. Look how pretty these are. I mean, they're just so shiny, and it's actually very flexible. It's not vinyl, so it's not heat transfer vinyl at all. It's actual fabric. But the best thing is the glitter does not come off. Not that
I looked them up.
I don't mind glitter. I've been known to spray glitter, like the hairspray glitter, onto quilts before. I like glitter, but not everybody appreciates the glitter. I'm a glitter person.
I was watching Project Runway last night, and they would love that material on that show.
Oh, yeah, they would.
Yeah, like how cool would Allie the Gator be with some of that stuff?
Oh, true.
I know, yeah. I have so many ideas.
Yeah, it's
so
cool. I was thinking about doing some fall leaves in like a placemat or whatever, because I mean, I get these beautiful fall colors. So I don't know. They had every color of the rainbow. It was hard to walk away without one of everything.
And so I looked on their website, and they have, like you said, so many different colors, but they also sell them in bundles. And I guess it was like $5 a sheet ish.
Yeah, that's about
so yeah. Yeah, so not too bad. Like, especially if you're only going to use it as an embellishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not bad. And I couldn't resist it because it was sparkly, and I just wanted to play with it. So I'm like, ooh, I'm just gonna get some of this. And then if I really like it, maybe I'll buy some more. Who knows?
So I have a really good friend who, like, you could be at some random place with her and you'll be like, Christine, do you have some glitter? Yeah. And she'll like pull it out of her purse. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. She's got glitter on her.
Let me show you.
Person. Makeup glitter, spray glitter, any kind of glitter you need.
One year, my daughters and I, back when scrapbooking was huge, right? So my daughters were, older teenagers, probably 17, 18 years old, somewhere around there. And we went to the Great American Scrapbook Convention or whatever in Arlington, Texas. And that we went several years in a row. But that year, we got the bright idea of making glitter T-shirts. So the top half of our T-shirt was white. The bottom half of mine was purple glitter. I think Katie had pink glitter and Taylor had gold glitter. Man, we left a glitter trail like Glenda the Good Witch everywhere we went. Bathroom, there was glitter all over the showroom floor. The T-shirts were just shedding glitter everywhere. It was kind of magical.
That's funny. When I think I've told this story before. When my husband worked out of New Orleans, he would go to New Orleans for Monday through Friday to work, and he lived in our camper, and then he'd come home on the weekends. Well, his daughter went to New Orleans for a music festival and over the weekend, so he wasn't there, but she and her friends were staying in the camper. So he gets back to work Monday to the to the camper, and he calls me and he says, I promise you I did not have a stripper in here. It was Kelsey and her glitter. He said when he got back, he went to work, he had glitter all over, like there was glitter all over the camper. I just thought that was so funny.
Poor fella.
Yeah, from New Orleans, if you go into New Orleans, you got to have glitter on you.
Right.
Somewhere.
That's right. Yeah, there was one of Louisiana's quilt shops up at the show too. Don't remember which one, but they were handing out Mardi Gras beads at the show.
Oh, I wonder who it was.
I don't remember.
It was probably from Shreveport, somewhere up north,
or maybe New Orleans.
I'd have to look back through the program to figure out which one it was. There were so many vendors. It was a great show, though. If you ever have a chance to go, I highly recommend it. It's a really nice show.
Like in my dream world, I would take a year off and just chase all the quilting shows and all the everything, like even remotely related to quilting and fabric shows all over the country, quilt shops, if there's not a show this weekend, that's okay. We'll just stop at all the quilt shops between here and there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was at a retreat
My
as
fantasy.
well in Missouri, and there was a little quilt shop. There was nothing else in Missouri but corn, but no offense to anybody in Missouri, but all I saw was cornfields and tractors and horse and buggies. And we were about 15 miles from St. Joseph. And there was actually a little quilt shop out in the country. It was really nice. It was called So Enchanting Equine. It was a very nice shop.
Really nice.
Yeah. She had a lot of,
I have to say, I have not been to very many like local quilt shops that I didn't fall in love with. Like the only ones I can think of that were, locally owned, um, if they were like big and kind of industrial, like I didn't, but those are so few and far between. For the most part, they have so much character.
right.
Like, did you
Now,
go to that one in Utah? It was the wagon wheel or the
no,
something
I
wagon?
don't think I made it to a single quilt shop when I was in Utah because I was busy with the retreat that we were at, and then because I had my gals right with me,
Yeah.
we went hiking, and we just we toured around. We went up to did the whole loop of that mountain up there, and but I don't think I ever made it.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think I made it to a quilt shop. I was too busy looking at the fall leaves.
Yeah. Well, I went in the day that I flew in, I can't remember who it was, but another retreat person picked me up at the airport, and she and I went to two quilt shops, I think, before the retreat started. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jennifer and I went to Vegas a few years ago and did 4 quilt shops, and there were 2 of them there that I absolutely fell in love with.
Which ones were they?
Well, one of them wasn't really a quilt shop. Orchid Owl Quilts was more a long arming
Hi,
studio.
Angie.
Hey, Andy.
I went to Vegas last year with my friend, and I think we went to several. We went to several in the area. One in Hendersonville or something like
The Christmas Goose. Did you go to the Christmas Goose?
Yes. And we went to.
I love that quilt shop. That's like one of my favorite all-time quilt shops.
And we went to Quiltique or
Quiltique.
something like that. And then we drove north, and we went to the Valley of Fire. But on our way up there, we found a little quilt shop inside of a True Value hardware store. It was very cool. It was very cool. It was totally unexpected, but there's actually a quilt shop in the back of the True Value hardware store.
There's a thought.
Oh, I love that.
If you guys ever make it out this way and you get to Pensacola, you should go to A&E Fabrics.
A&E. Okay.
Yeah.
In Pensacola.
Yeah. It's in this little strip mall. Apparently it used to be a pharmacy, and then it became a fabric store, and they have a huge selection of fabrics.
I had a lovely conversation with a salesperson for Riley Blake this week. Purely coincidentally, her name is Regina, and she is the quirky quilter. Isn't that funny? And we're the cheeky quilters. Anyway, the quirky quilter. It was such a lovely conversation, and she was telling me all about, working for Riley Blake. She gets to go to all of these different quilt shops everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh. She said it's hard because she's away from home, but she gets to travel a lot and go to all of the quilt shops. I thought, that sounds like a perfect job to me.
Right. You can always become a rep for E.E. Shank as well. They get to go all over the place and show the samples to all the quilt shops.
Is that a
E.E. Shank is a distributor that's based in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
But they have reps all over the place because I know there's a rep out. There was a rep out this way too, and she kind of did the southeast.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can be a rep for like E.E. Shank or Checkers or something like that and go to all the shops.
That would be so cool. I don't know how my husband would feel about it, but I'd be totally on board. He could travel with, right?
Good, with the camper and the glitter.
Tired. Yeah.
With a glitter camper. That's funny.
All right. So we got some people joining us. Who do we have? Where y'all from? I wish I could get a list of everybody who's on so I could see and I could harass people. But I know like Zaza, Deb. Hey, Deb. Delia, Zaza. Who else we got?
Andy.
Shout out to all my friends.
Sally and Kelly
so
are
I
not
don't
here
know.
tonight. They're not here yet.
I did see Shelly. Shelly was here earlier. Shout out Shelly if you're still here. I think she usually watches for a little while and then heads out. We got some regulars.
So you said you were cutting purple. What are you cutting? What quilt are we doing with purple?
So I have one of the things that I wanted to do when I created this live was to let the audience help pick random squares and then I would make them and it would just kind of be like a fun thing to do. And so I've done it twice now. And so the very first one that I did back in probably February was the let me see if I have the big pool. The block that we chose out and we chose a random number and I looked in the big encyclopedia of quilted blocks and the this block was the one that we randomly picked. And so now I made the block, put some instructions out on the fly foot, that's the name of it. I couldn't think of it. So we made the fly foot block. It's like 4 of these small units. And I sent last week I put a link to the very easy, they're just half square triangles. So I'm making an entire quilt in purple with batiks, gray and white, so that I can auction it off or sell it and donate the money to the Alzheimer's Association.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, it was supposed to be finished for this Saturday. And they didn't think I could do it. And I was like, I'm doing it. I got an attitude. I can do it. I can do it. Well, here it is. I might have a few blocks done. Maybe I'll make and sell some pillows instead of a whole quilt. I could probably sell a whole lot more of the pillows for cheaper.
Table runners, wall hangings,
all the things. Yeah,
the things. Yes.
So we have a market this weekend. It's the first time doing this market. It's a farmer's market in the town where we live, and it's pretty big. Like they gather up a lot of people every week. It's consistent, and it's hard. It's kind of hard to get into, but I'm in the craft guild for the state, and they are. So I'm pre-juried into some things, and so I was able to get in this year. I was talking to a lady last week. She applied. She finally got in. It's her 3rd year. Like the first 2 years, she couldn't get in. So yeah. So they accept new people annually, but it's every Saturday, and you only have to go once a quarter. So that's kind of what we're planning. Is not more than 4 times a year. It's just a lot. It's a lot of building up product.
And I'm assuming you're outside and it's hot.
Yes. Yeah. So I know the other thing we do in October, the outside market, there's a local music festival every year in October, and we do so well. Like we just can never have enough inventory. We sell out every year of everything we bring. And so I'm going to try between now and October to make some smaller wall hangings because I think those will do well and they don't take as much time.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I do.
We make the pocket prayer quilts. Those are very people love those.
The little ones.
Well, like 5-inch squares.
Okay. Yeah. You know what I saw sell really good at the Tallahassee Quilt Show, and I was so surprised because their guild was selling things, right? And it's just those simple folded Christmas star ornaments, simple folded fabric. Oh. And man, they were flying off their little Christmas tree display. Really? Yeah, they could not keep them on the tree.
You never know what's going to sell. sometimes we'll bring certain things that we think they'll sell real well, and they don't, and they're all asking for something else. Like the first show we ever did, it was near Christmas, and we had a lot of Christmas things. They all wanted table runners, and we did not have one table runner.
Yeah.
You just never know.
But then when we do bring table runners, we don't sell them.
Yeah. Who knows? You just probably just need to have like a good spread of different things, right?
Yeah.
So that you can please everybody. Except that you're not tacos and you can't please everybody.
That's funny.
So I tell people, I was like, you're not tacos, you can't please everybody.
Andy, I don't know that I would want to do that either. Commissions for wedding quilts.
Oh no. I don't think there's enough money to pay me for that kind of stress. That just sounds stressful, Andy.
Katie.
I do know that I've been in a few guilds that vended at like the Christmas home shows and the home and garden show. And they do pretty good with, embroidered things and table runners and that kind of thing. Not so much with the bigger quilts, but they do pretty good with the table runners and that type of thing.
Sold a few big quilts at the shows, usually one per show, one per weekend. But most people, do you do t-shirt quilts? Jennifer does, not me. That's the thing is everybody wants a personalized quilt. And that's just it's hard.
It is. It's hard. It's a lot.
I remember the first show, one of the first shows we did, I had made 3 quilts before the show, and by Saturday night I hadn't sold any, and so I was aggravated. I just was packing everything up, and Amber said, "Look, just leave this one here." It was an LSU t-shirt quilt. I said, "Okay, I'll just leave it out." And a drunk person came along and bought it. Put it on sale. It was like $300. I said, "Oh, I'll take $250." And the lady said, "I'll give you $300." I said, "Oh, okay." Had my hand out.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That's funny.
But you can't.
The only markets I have done have been as a vendor for the retreat center, and I wasn't selling anything, but just handing out information, right? So I haven't had to do any where I was actually carting inventory around.
Yes, it's hard.
I did get permission to bring my patterns and sell patterns this year. They said as long as I guess it's like the other artists that sell their prints.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they considered my my patterns.
Yeah.
So she's good at that. That's how they consider my patterns. So I do have permission to bring patterns. So hopefully I can make some money off of the patterns. Throw together some kits of my patterns. And the alligator pattern sells really well. So I might put together some kits for that. Maybe not this weekend, but yeah. Oh my God, those stupid bowl cozies.
Oh, I hate making those.
Everybody wants one.
Everybody wants one, and I just refuse to make them.
I've made a few, like for my own house and for my daughters, but that is as far as it goes with me. I'm like, I do not like making those things. Of course, they're
really time consuming.
I don't want to make bags. I don't want to make clothes. I don't want to make dolls or memory bears. I just want nice, flat, 2-dimensional quilts.
Me too. Me too.
No thick binding on a bag that breaks a needle and throws it in my face.
Amber talked me into trying to make the zipper pouches, so I bought a bag of zippers for this weekend, and I have made 0.
No, but you made the tote bag.
I made one tote bag, but I have not made one zipper pouch. I just don't want to do it. I don't feel like it.
I don't like sewing zippers.
Sell well, apparently. I just don't want to make them.
I think they do.
My quilt guild asked us to make zippered pouches because they want to hand them out to kids, right? Like in school or whatever, or domestic abuse situations or anything. And I'm like, y'all, I'll have to do something else. I said, I don't do zippers. I hate doing zippers. And they're like, it's so easy. I'm like, nope. So I compromised and I'm making composition notebook covers because it involves no binding, no zippers, easy peasy.
Straight lines. Yeah. I love the idea. Now, I would make bowl cozies for family members for Christmas. Like, I could see doing that, but not to sell them.
Right. Like Andy says, straight seams all day. Yes, Andy.
All day.
All day.
I have heard that the zipper pouches sell. And I've watched Christine Home Affairs talk about batch sewing the zipper pouches. She makes it look so easy.
I'll have to watch that. What is it? I'll write it down.
Christine's Home Affairs.
Okay.
She's in Australia, and I love watching her videos. She used to have super long hair, and she's battling cancer right now, so she doesn't have any hair at all. And I love that she's just kind of open with it. She's, talks about it and does not wear a wig. She's a trooper for sure. And she has a good channel. I like watching her stuff.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Jennifer
doesn't watch nearly as much YouTube as I do.
I was going to say, Andy, I'm so against doing things that aren't straight seams. When our group asked us to make some emotional support pickles, I was like, I will crochet you some. And I did. I crocheted them some pickles because I'm like, I'm not sewing that and stuffing it. Nope.
An emotional support pickle?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Apparently it's a thing. There's the positive potato and the emotional support pickle. See, I wouldn't know this because I don't have any young kids in my life, but apparently it's a thing amongst kids. Like it's kind of like a fidget spinner, but you just like hold the positive potato or the emotional support pickle.
I might have to make some of those.
I crocheted them some pickles because I'm not sewing them, but I can crochet them all day long.
Positive potato?
The positive potato. If you look it up on Pinterest, you can see positive potato examples, and there'll be like a little, you're a star, like you give it a little sign or whatever, and the emotional support pickles.
And they're little?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, my little pickles were only about that big, like a small pickle cucumber. It's pickle sized, not pickle sized, but pickle sized.
Yeah, like a pickle.
Yeah, like a pickle.
Like a dill pickle.
Yeah,
from a jar.
Yeah, that might sell.
The Tigers are playing tonight. In case anybody didn't know that.
I'm gonna like really show how dumb I am. And who are the Tigers?
So the LSU Tigers are playing in the College World Series right now. It's a big deal at my house.
Football is never a big deal at my house.
It's baseball. So
no sport, like as far as TV sports that you watch on TV, none of that is ever a big deal at my house.
I do not usually watch baseball, especially. Hey Sheila, I was wondering if you were on. See, I got you. I don't usually watch college baseball, but I've kind of been pulled into this tournament and watching it, and yeah. They've had some pretty good games. Usually I find baseball boring, but the games are being pretty good. A chill pillow.
Chill pillow, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like red and white, like a capsule. That's what it would look like.
I love it.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, Jennifer's in and out. Yeah. You've been looking like you were there the whole time now.
Well, that's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering because it's blank sometimes. I can't see y'all. I can hear y'all, but not. I was wondering.
Oh, no. You don't look like you're glitchy. You don't look. What was that guy's name? Max Headroom. You're glitching out.
Oh yeah.
Indeed.
Okay, so Tabitha, let's talk about the Quilt Queens.
Okay. Quilt Queens is an online community I started in August of last year. Right now I have about 60 members. And not everybody is like active all the time. Some of them are just lurkers, just like you would see in any community, right? And then we have some that are always, chatting, and we do a live We do 2 live sit and sews on Wednesdays every week. And so I usually have a pretty good core group that gets on and we chat and sew and, cut up, whatever. And we do, like I upload instructional videos. There's lots of links. We have challenges every month. Sometimes it's a UFO challenge to work on their UFOs. Like I have a UFO here that I finally broke out that had been sitting in a box since 2019. I started it and then, it went in the box and it just now come out of the box. So I got one that I just quilted that I pieced in 2016. So I'm working on my UFOs. I have a lot of UFOs. So we do a UFO challenge pretty regularly. We do other challenges like use a kit. If you have a kit, this is your month. We want to break that kit out and use it because a lot of people love kits, but then they just sit there. And so I do a challenge like different ones. I think later this year I have one coming up that's like use your pre-cuts. So the challenge is that month, find a project, make it, whether that's a jelly roll race, chandelier quilt with a charm square, something with a layer cake, but use them because people buy them and then they just sit there. So we just kind of like egg each other on all month, like how's your challenge going, that type of thing. And I always give prizes at the end of the month. So it's a fun online community. It's hosted on School, which is SKOOL, and it's Quilt Queens. And we have a good time. We have special guest speakers. Amber's been a special guest speaker on there. I have another speaker this month who's going to talk about she is a very prolific scrap quilter. And so she's going to do a live on Friday and just talk about her method and how she gets so many done. Because, she knocks them out. I
really need somebody to tell me how to, like, I've watched videos and listened to other people talk about how they organize their scraps to make them usable. And so I would really like to do a better job at that so that I don't have this just big of mix. Because I have some strips in there, I have some squares, I have some tiny little pieces, I have some big pieces. And so
Lori Dickman, who was on our summit last time and will be on our summit this time, has a scrap organizing system. So there's lots of people that have those, organizing systems. For me, I have a whole bank of plastic shoe boxes over here, and I painted them all purple so I can't actually see the fabric. Because if I see the fabric, I get distracted. So they'll have name tags on the purple buckets that tells me what color is in there, but I can't actually see it. So we got yellow, we got purple, we got green. And anything smaller than a fat quarter goes in that bucket. I don't pre-cut them into strips. I don't cut them into squares because who knows? Maybe if I cut it in a square, I wish I'd had it in a strip, right? So I just put them in the bucket by color. And then when I need that color, I know exactly where to find the color because it's got a little thing that says, hello, my name is yellow, or hello, my name is green, because it's got a little sticker on it. That. But they're all painted purple. And then I know where to get the color I want, and then I can cut the piece that I want from those scraps. Because I know if I pre-cut them into smaller squares or strips, I will never find the piece I want because it won't be the right size anymore.
Yeah. The only thing I can think that I possibly would do as far as cutting them would be into like potato chip size, probably like what 2.5 by 4 or 3 by 5, like a size. I can't remember the exact size, but that I could do scrap or like log cabin, something like that. But because now what I do is I'll cut a piece of fabric and whatever's left over, I just toss it in the bag. So all the sizes, all the colors are all mixed. Anything that's a fat quarter or more, I have a container for by color. But this is generally, I don't have time to measure it. It's smaller or fat quarter-ish in this bag. It just goes in the bag.
Bigger than a fat quarter, it's like a half yard or a third yard or more, gets wrapped on a comic book board and shelved over. I have a whole bank of shelves on this side, and it's all sorted by color or theme on the comic book boards. So I can see all of that, and if anything I need, I can grab something out of the Christmas section, because that's the bigger sections of fabric. But all the tiny little bits go in their buckets with their name on it, and then I don't have to, they're there when I need them.
I'm afraid of having multiple buckets, I think. Because right now I have probably 12 to 15 for the colors, for the sizes. And then I was like, if I add a whole other set of colored to organize these, then that's a whole other set of buckets for colors. Oh, I'm
Amber,
telling
you
you,
ought to
it's
get your
overwhelming.
cousins. Amber, you ought to get your cousins to come over one Saturday and have like a little party and have cocktails and let them sort them out for you.
Well, there you
I was
go.
thinking, I'm not going to let them cut. The last time I did that, they messed my stuff all up.
No, but they could sort that bag for you in no time.
Yes.
Andy, I answered your comment. That is a great idea. I've actually sold a lot of my scraps. I make scrap bags and I sell them on Etsy. Right now, I've only got
Really?
a few listed because I've sold so many of my scraps doing it that way that I don't have any red scraps to sell right now. So I sell them on Etsy, and that works out really well. I know our quilt guild sells scrap bags at the quilt show, right, to raise money for the guild. But yeah, I sort them in by color, and I sell them, a yellow scrap bag or a red scrap bag on Etsy, and you'd be surprised how well they sell.
How big are the bags?
It's 12 ounces.
Ah,
Okay.
I weigh it by 12 ounces.
Nice.
That's a great idea.
And because for me, like Amber said, it gets overwhelming. You get too many scraps, right? Especially if you've been cutting a lot. So when I get way too many scraps that I know I'm not going to get to, then I just put them in a scrap bag and I sell them on Etsy. And that helps me keep my piles under control, except for purple. You will never see a bag of purple scraps in there. They all stay at my house because I do not give up the purple. But any other color is fair game. But yeah, when they start getting overwhelming, if the lids won't go on the buckets, it's time to make another listing, right?
Yep.
And sell them that way.
See, I have an Etsy shop, but I've never sold anything on it. And I don't push it because I don't want to have to package and mail things. Although that would be a great job for my husband.
Yeah, and I don't really like advertise my Etsy shop or whatever. I sell stickers because Katie draws stickers for me. I sell stickers and I sell the scrap bags, and that's about it. And stickers are easy to mail out, and I may sell 3 or 4 bags a week, and so it's not a big deal for me to mail those out.
Wow, that's a lot though. 3 to 4 bags a week, every week consistently, like when you have them posted?
Yeah, pretty consistently. Obviously, when I have enough, I can list more colors and I sell more. And I sell batiks. Like the batiks is just a random bag of batiks that weighs 2 ounces.
So you sell them individually as colors, like one color at a time?
Yes, it's one color at a time, and they know they're getting it's not what you see the exact fabrics you see in the picture is yellow. It's whatever yellow I happen to have at the time, right? Or it is orange. And a lot of
a 12-ounce bag of yellow.
You're right. And a lot of people, if they're doing scrap quilts, it's nice to be able to get somebody else's scraps, right? Because then it gives you more variety if you're really trying to do it super scrappy. It's nice to be able to get somebody else's scraps.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't like shipping. I do have some digital products on my Etsy. They're mostly like printable games that you could use in your guild thing. Those are easy because you just put them up there and forget about them, right? They never expire. You don't have to ship them.
And I really do need to put my digital patterns on Etsy.
Yes,
because I have them on my I have them on my website, but I don't have them on Etsy. I need to do both.
Yeah,
especially the alligator.
Yeah, especially because a lot of times, people may not find your website, but they can always find, if they search alligator on, alligator pattern on Etsy, you're probably going to come up because there probably aren't that many.
Yeah, there aren't. There's a few. There's a handful, but
they're probably not searching the Cheeky Quilters,
right,
specifically, because that's not a common search thing. They're searching alligator.
Yeah,
SEOs are very important, and it's really helpful to learn that.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I have 2 millennial kids. I get lessons on Chat GPT, which I've gotten really pretty decent at. SEO.
I love me some Chat GPT.
I love Chat GPT. It will change your life.
Yes,
I think
indeed.
Jennifer didn't you recently discover ChatGPT?
Yes, I use it every day.
Well, at least you discovered it
It's
now and
awesome.
not a year ago, because a year ago it was not very good.
Oh, really?
It had no memory. It couldn't
Oh,
remember
really?
conversation. It couldn't do math to save its life. It wasn't very good when it first came out, but it has gotten much better.
It's been a couple of months now.
Hey, Julianne's one of my quilt queens.
Oh, is she?
Mhm.
Hi. I use Adobe products. I use Adobe Illustrator to design the patterns, and then I use Adobe and Canva. I'm still
Okay.
using Canva to do the formatting, but so I have to combine with Adobe.
I always say Canva makes me cry. My
Why?
kids say Canva's so easy. It's just plug and play. It's so user friendly. I'm like, no, I get on there and I just want to have a mental breakdown every time I get on Canva. It's not my jam. Graphics are not my thing. I don't design things.
Yeah, Canva is pretty easy to use. But I've been using it for a few years, probably 4 or 5 years. So, and it does a lot now that it didn't do back in the day. Adobe products, however, are stressful, very stressful. There's, they are professional programs. They are not for the faint at heart.
Katie uses Adobe. She uses Canva, for her art, not quilting, but for her art. And so anytime I need anything, I'm like, can you make me something on Canva? I'll make
Canva.
tacos.
So the difference between Canva and Adobe, what I learned is like in Canva, you can search for like I want a heart, and they'll give you a bunch of different hearts that you can use. In Adobe, you have to draw your heart. Like there's no preset heart. Like
Oh,
you're drawing the heart. So it's kind of like a designer versus a user perspective.
right.
So I
Andy
use both
says
of
she's
them.
got EQ8.
Yeah, and EQ8. I have EQ8. I bought it a few years ago. I don't use it anymore.
Why?
Um, yeah,
Uh-oh.
there's so many products out there that
So
you
why
could
don't you
use.
like EQ8 anymore? I'm just curious.
Um, because the things that I design are not quilt blocks that are already in existence.
Yeah.
So like the um the flag quilts that I do are not traditional quilt blocks, and I it's just easier for me to go into Adobe and draw what I want to draw, the alligators,
That
the
makes
things like
sense.
that. Now, if I were doing like the flyfoot quilt, I probably could have done that in EQ8, but it's on a different computer, and so I just did it on Adobe. Um, yeah. So it's more about the type of blocks that I use.
Have you used Quilt Assistant?
Mm-mm,
I know
no.
Julius from Julius Handmade. That's what he uses to design his paper piecing.
Oh, good to know. What is it, Julius? What?
It's Julius Handmade is his
I
website,
mean,
and he uses Quilt Assistant for all of his designs now.
I really would love to do more foundation paper piecing because I just think you can get pictures and
Mm-hmm.
landscapes, and that's what I like doing. I just have not dedicated the time to learn how to do it. There was somebody in Utah that that creates the foundation paper piece patterns, and I talked to her about it. I can't remember who it was. And I was like, "Well, did you do a lot of FPP, before you started writing the pattern?" She's like, "No, I
Oh,
just kind of figured it out as I went." I was like,
I love doing the
"Inspiration."
FPP. I love
Yeah,
stitching FPP. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not a designer at all, so I would never design one.
yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Jen, you were kind of quiet tonight. Are you still glitching? Or are we
No,
just talking
no.
too much?
After I mentioned it, it stopped.
Well, does anybody have any questions for Tabitha? anything specific that we want to know about the retreat center, the Camellia Palms retreats, Quilted Summit, the Scrap Challenge, and Quilt Queens? To make sure she's got a lot going on.
A little bit, yeah.
How much is it for the summit?
It's free to attend. You can,
oh,
if
good.
you watch it on September 16th and 17th, it is 100% free.
Oh.
All our lovely speakers have generously done their presentations for that. Now we do have a upgraded ticket, a VIP ticket, so that you can get lifetime access and you get other goodies and stuff for the summit if you buy the all access pass. But if you just want to watch those presentations on September 16th and 17th, it is completely free.
Well, that's very good.
Yeah. And again, most of the sessions, I guess it's still going to be that way this year. Whenever you're watching the sessions live, the person who's the speaker is usually on live, and you can interact. I know not all of them were, but some of them were. So yeah.
Because our presentations are all pre-recorded, but a lot of times the speaker, like Amber, will be in the chat answering questions about her presentation.
That sounds great. We'll have to mention it to the guild. Or did you?
Yeah. To our local guild. Yeah, we have a meeting coming up before
next
then.
week.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So did you finish the hurricane quilt?
Me?
Jen?
Of course, I did it Sunday quickly.
Oh, yay.
I thought I sent a picture. Maybe I didn't. Oh, it looks so much prettier in person than in the picture. It's very nice. I love it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So I did, the road sign, the hurricane evacuation route sign, and it just was very wonky. I had to do some trickery in the quilting when I quilted it, and I thought, oh, that's it. Like, I'm just going to have to give it away. I'm going to keep it. It's horrible. And then by the time it was done, it ended up being
it's not bad at all. It looks good. I mean, it looks better. It looked a little puffy or something when you showed it last week on the video, but it's not in person. It's just all well done. It looks good.
So now you can do one that's the tsunami evacuation route, because that's what the signs are in the Pacific Northwest.
Tsunami? Oh yeah.
No, they have an earthquake. There could be a tsunami, so they have a tsunami evacuation sign to get away from the coast.
Oh, awesome! Yes.
So we were talking about road signs a couple of weeks ago, and one I forgot who it is was talking about the cows falling road signs, and I'm like, a cow? Why would a cow fall? We live in flatland. So after the video, Amber showed me the sign. It's just hysterical.
It's an upside down cow falling on a car off of a cliff. It's the funniest thing. So I'm going to make that one in like rainbow colors.
And one of those bighorn sheep came off the cliff right in front of her car, but she missed it. But yeah, it just fell off the cliff onto the highway.
Yeah, and somebody was like, that doesn't really happen. I'm like, no, it does. I looked it up.
It does, When I lived out there in the Pacific Northwest, I had elk run out in front of me. We never ran over a gator, but yeah, we had elk, and Beth is like in the moose in the Canadian road signs for moose on the road.
Hi, Fern. Yeah, I mean, when you look up funny road signs, like I could make one of each. Like I can't stop laughing when I'm looking them up.
It was hysterical. I
definitely want to do one for the London Tube. I just have a thing with London, so I'm going to do that one. But yeah, all sorts of animals, the alligator crossing, the cow falling. I'm doing that one in rainbow. I have it pictured in my head. I don't know why I think it needs to be in a rainbow, but that's just how I figured. Like in my head, that's just what it looks like. I might have to do a moose. A moose tried to kill me and my husband a couple years ago when we were in Colorado. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. It didn't. We were riding side by sides, and there was a cliff on one side of us and the mountain on the other. And then we both looked over and there was this huge moose just standing right on the side of us. It was probably not nearly as big as it felt, but that was pretty cool to be so close, and be safe at the same time. Yeah,
So many projects, so little time.
for sure.
Yep.
Well, I know you, Tabitha, you have had a very long day online, so I am not going to keep you much longer.
Awesome. Yes, I had a
Like, not
2-hour
going to
lunch
argue.
session this morning, and this is like hour 3 of the afternoon. So yes, it's been a busy. Wednesdays are a busy online day for me.
Well, I so appreciate you taking the time, and we will have to have you back. This was fun.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I'm so excited that you're
Yeah.
going to be one of the speakers for the Quilted Summit. So y'all definitely go to quiltedsummit.com, put your email in so you can get on the list so that we can give you the notifications, because Amber is going to be doing a great presentation
Yeah.
for us.
And I will definitely be continuing to talk about it on here every week. So yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gonna end the live stream. Appreciate everybody watching, and if you're watching live, much appreciated. Don't forget to give a like if you're still on, thumbs up, and subscribe if you hadn't. And if you're watching the replay, appreciate you too. Everybody have a good night. Thank
Good
you.
night, everybody.